Finally, we are finally there. I'm finally gonna play Marza's challenge winning dredge list thingy. The bug has been fixed. Stinkweed Imp is working again. My software seems to be working again. Let's do this. Salutations everyone, my name is Pietro and welcome to today's video. So in this list lies a problem. I mean, not anymore, but I tried, I think the list might be a little cursed. So I tried to play this list a while back and then Stinkweed Imp was bugged. And then I started to attempt another recording with the list and my software crashed and whatnot, and then I had to restart it. So hopefully this is the time that we are going to get something out of it. If you haven't seen, Marzaboi has recently won a challenge as well as did very well. I believe he top 8'd or top 4'd a in-person event in Europe that he recently played, and he did that playing this deck. So I am intrigued by some of the things here. So this is just traditional dredge, right? This is black, green, X dredge. We are playing the traditional package of the 2-mana mill effects. We have the full 16 here in the form of Satyr Wayfinder, Town Greeter, Rumble, and Circle of the Land Druid. We are playing the full 4 Scrapwork Mutts as well. The Stinkweed Imps, the Dread Returns, the Lotlet Giants, and whatnot. The part that I'm the most interested in is that this is a list that has the full 4 Molten Gatekeeper, which I love. I think this card has been really good to me lately. We are playing a pair of Acorn Harvests in the main deck, which I also really like. If you have seen my recent green-red tokens list, you have seen that Molten Gatekeeper plus token generators is really strong. We are also playing a pair of Momentary Blinks, and this is a card that has appeared sometimes in Dredge in the past, and it's a card that people use a lot to blink their Lotlet Giant. So sometimes if you don't have enough cards in the graveyard, if your opponent maybe exiled a bunch of your stuff, you can try to come back and then like Dread Return for free, bring your Lotlet Giant back, sometimes deal like 8 points of damage, and then pay 4, Momentary Blink it from the graveyard, and then deal the remainder of your opponent's life. And I think this makes a lot of sense. We have a pretty grindy format right now. There's a lot of like Jund and Affinity and like the Boros things deck, Boros Pile decks and whatnot that are playing Graveyard Hate and all of that stuff. So I do think that having Momentary Blink helps. Excuse me. It is also pretty decent at just fueling. So sometimes you have a little bit of extra mana lying around. You can flicker your dudes to mill some more cards. There's also a trick where if you unearth a Molten Gatekeeper or a Scrapwork Mutt, you can Momentary Blink it, and then it comes back forever, like you don't lose it at the end of turn. It's pretty expensive to do in this deck, but it is an option that you can have. But the points that I want to focus on here are going to be the mana base and the sideboard. Let's actually start with the sideboard. We have 2 extra Momentary Blinks for the really grindy matchups, Coffin Purge for Spy, the full playset of Grudge for Affinity and, you know, those things, and then the Nod to the Bones are in the sideboard. And this is a choice that I understand. Nod to the Bone is not great in a lot of fights right now. So if you're playing against decks that are value-oriented in game number 1, having a Nod to the Bone can be like a death sentence for you. However, that means that you no longer have a good game 1 against things like Raleigh Red, for example, which you did have a lot in the past. But I understand having those in the sideboard so that you can pack more good cards in your game 1 deck. We are also going to play a pair of Death Sparks, which is a card that Marza and I have adored for a while. It is really good against Fae, Elves, and things of that nature. And we are going to play a Singleton Flaring Pain just for things like Prismatic Strands and Fogs and whatnot. Alright, that out of the way. Let's touch on the mana base. This is a deck that is now playing the 2 tap lands for you to tutor out with Generous Ant, which is a change that I have thought about a lot in the past. When I played previous lists that looked something like this, I have felt that the Generous Ant fetching only basic forests was not great. And now you have a chance to fetch your off-color lands. But that means that we are playing 6 tap lands, which, okay, it's not as bad as playing a bunch of County Gardens and Black Dragon Gates, but we are also playing 6 lands that don't make mana unless you have a creature in play. And I'm not worried here about the amount of tapped lands as much as I am the amount of times where these lands are not gonna allow you to play the game. And this also, I think, has another side effect of like, there are gonna be situations where you want to be chipping in for damage that you won't be able to because you need to tap your creatures to cast your spells. There are gonna be situations where you really want to chump block, but you need to tap your creature to play another creature, and then you are down a chump blocker, which definitely matters. And yes, we do have 10 untapped lands, and we have the Generous Ant to fetch them and whatnot. But I think there is gonna be a lot of awkwardness here in the mana base the way it is currently constructed. I understand that if you want to play 3 colors while splashing, like if you want to play Jund while splashing on Azoria's spell, you do need the rainbow lands, but I don't know if this is the best configuration. We are going to try it out. We're going to see how we do. Hopefully we're going to do all right and not embarrass ourselves. Hopefully I'm going to make Marza proud and he's going to come to the comments and he's going to say something like, "Oh, you played very well. Congratulations. I'm very happy for your result. Also, here's all the things that you did wrong," so that we can have a constructive conversation about it. That's going to be it. Before I start the video, I'm going to plug my stuff real quick. I recently opened up a members only section on YouTube, meaning that you get access to videos like this way earlier than other people, usually a week. And I also have a Patreon where I am posting exclusive content every week. So if you like different things, how to build decks, how to brew, how I get my ideas and take them somewhere else, things of that nature, check out the Patreon. It helps a ton. I'm still trying to monetize this whole YouTube thing, and right now it is basically non-existent. So anything that you can do to help me out is great. If you want to leave a comment, share the video, just like it, that's all fine. Just by watching, you are already helping me a ton, so thank you very much. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. Let's go to some matches. All right, welcome here to round number 1. This is a hand that unfortunately does not have colored mana, so I'm gonna have to mulligan. This is a hand that doesn't have any sort of mana, so we're gonna have to mulligan that as well. Not a great start for our attempt number 2 here. I am going to keep this one. Hand's pretty good. I think, excuse me, I think Gatekeeper and Dread Return are gonna bite it, and we are just gonna try to go off of our Rumble, Town Greeter, and whatnot. Okay. Is this just the red deck playing snow-covered lands for the whiteout package? Okay, that's just another Voldaren Epicure, Great Furnace. Could also be just a stylistic choice. And that's a lot of dudes very early on. I'm not gonna block just yet. I think our opponent's gonna know what we're up to, regardless of what I try to do here. So I am gonna go with the Survivor's Encampment. And I am gonna put a creature on the board, put them in any order. I will take the Haunted Mire here. And if there is a Goblin Bushwhacker coming, my plant is gonna block and gain me 2 life. It's just a reckless impulse, finding a land, and there is a Bushwhacker, but there is a Bushwhacker for next turn. So let's trade with one of the Epicures. Okay, opponent hasn't done anything else. Let's play another Town Greeter. Any order, I will take the Holdout Settlement here. And I guess I could have gone like Rumble into something else. Honestly, I think I'm okay. I think I'm just gonna do this. I do have to be a little careful with my life total because I don't have a life gain in the main deck here. Oof. Okay, that was just like a Galvanic Blast face. Okay, there's the Bushwhacker. And seems like it's just gonna be a swing. Okay, so we are gonna block. We are down to 8 life, which is not great. I do think we're gonna have to get a little bit lucky here. So I am just gonna throw down a couple blockers. I do have the momentary blink, which could allow... Is this another thing or is this a blood? Okay. So that was a lightning bolt on the Stinkweed Imp. Interesting choice. Goblin Tomb Raider. Okay. The lightning bolt on the Stinkweed Imp is definitely an interesting choice here, I feel like, because they're giving me fuel now. Am I... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 creatures in the graveyard. So if I take here, I go down to 4. I could just die to Fire Blast or Galv Blast. So I guess I'm not. Inventor's Axe. Okay, sure. I am down to 4 life anyway. So let's dredge this. We find a Dread Return, but there is no Lotlet Giant. Still no Lotlet Giant. Let's take the Scrapwork Mutt. Let's play the Mutt. Let's dredge. Okay, so there's the Giant. I don't have lethal this turn, and I do need to block, but the problem is that... So, unless I block everything, I'm dead to a burn spell. Okay, so I guess that's what I'm gonna try to do. Okay, so I no longer need to block everything now. So block here, block here. I guess it does cut me off of... Yeah, it does cut me off. 1, 2, 3. No, but I have the Scrapwork Mud. Yeah, I think it should work. So let's just block like this. I'll take 3. Okay, we found a Land Druid anyway, which is the thing that we wanted. So play the Land Druid, mill 4, any order, play a land. Ooh, I guess it's not a guarantee, right? So tap, tap. Okay, so wait. So if I play the Imp, it's not a guarantee that I can kill my opponent. Scrapwork Mutt is gonna be pretty close, but it's still not a... Oh, should I have gone for the Molten Gatekeeper? So, Gatekeeper... Oh, I think I might have messed this up. I think I was supposed to go for the Molten Gatekeeper. I forgot I had it. Okay, I'm just gonna go for the Mutt first, and then we'll see what we find. We are pretty likely to find another Mutt. Yeah, we did. Okay. So we are now at 18. Oh, I guess I can just attack, right? Tap Land Druid, bring back Mutt number 2, dredge 5 again, any order, go to punchies, hit for 4. Okay, we got there. Was a little what am I even trying to say? Like, was a little iffy there for a while, but we got there in the end. So, Not to the Bones can come in. Grudges can come in. What am I bringing? I think I might bring in like 3 grudges here. The Acorn Harvest are decent, but not great. Momentary Blink is fine, but I'm not super excited about it. I can just try to stabilize the board with Not to the Bones and grudges and whatnot in this matchup. I do want my 2 drops pretty aggressively. I think I can shave like a Giant, a Dread Return, and like a Molten Gatekeeper and be fine with my choices here. 1 life. The last life point is the only one you need. This is fine. I'll keep. Okay. So that's a Tomb Raider with no artifact on turn 1, which is pretty good. I'm just gonna play the County Garden here to get it out of the way. I don't intend to block until there is some sort of real incentive for me to do so. Is my plant worth 2 points of life? I don't think it is. Okay. So we are down to 15 already. That's pretty aggressive. Let's do this. And I am going to be pretty sad. Any order, get Survivor's Encampment. I am going to be pretty sad if my opponent has a... What's it called? End of the Festivities. That would be pretty bad. The Ancient Grudge here is good next turn. Raleigh of the Hornburg. Sure. Lightning Bolt. Sure. Okay. So my plant is just going to be 3 points of life here. Block, take 4. Okay, let's play the Forest. Let's play Wayfinder. Grab the Encampment. Any order on these. So my plan here is likely going to be to blow up the Percussionist. Okay, that's an End of Festivities and a Relic of Progenitus. Okay, but they can't play both of those. Oh, sorry, there was a really loud motorcycle here. Okay, opponent played another land, so they don't have any cards in hand. All they have is the End of Festivities and the Relic of Progenitus. Okay, so I am pretty interested in getting bodies out of play, although I could block the Percussionist, grudge the Relic that I know is coming. This is a tough one. I think I just need to do my best to save every point of life that I can here. So let's grudge the Percussionist. My graveyard's not even that great right now. Let's see what they find. It's just another land. That's okay. So I'll take 3 down to 8. Is my opponent playing the Relic now? Makes sense. Yep. But now they don't have anything really that they get to do that's really good. Okay, Rumble is not bad. I was planning on going Coney Garden. I might want to do that afterwards. So I could go like Rumble into Stinkweed Imp. I think I'm just gonna go County Garden into... Do I even want to go Stinky? I guess I'm just gonna go Gatekeeper here. Because Stinky blocks and trades with the Tomb Raider. I don't want to trade. I want to just kill stuff. I could also take 2 and accept it. Okay, that's an interesting thing to do pre-combat. Did you draw some sort of lethal? What is this? I imagine the axe... sure, you can take my Dread Return. I imagine the Inventor's Axe goes on the Human Soldier. Yep. So my Gatekeeper is dying either way. Trade here, go down to 5. Okay, so if they're popping it now, it means that they probably have at least 1 burn spell in hand. Not to the bone. Okay, so let's Rumble. No creatures at all. That is terribly unfortunate. Okay, so let's go Town Greeter. Okay, so there's a Knot to the Bone. There are some creatures now. So we are definitely in trouble here, but our opponent didn't have us last turn. Their Inventor's Axe can no longer be equipped unless they find another one. Tomb Raider is fine. That's exactly lethal. Good God. All right, all right. So if we had hit at least like a couple creatures, we could have survived there. That was really unlucky. It is what it is. Let's try again. I think this hand... There's no self-mill, but there is the Grudge and the Imp and the Molten Gatekeeper. We are on the play. I think I'm gonna keep it because I get to go Garden into Grudge. And a lot of the times, Grudge on turn 2 is pretty good. Sure. No blocks. Thank you very much. Play the Encampment. Would have liked to draw that Ridgeline earlier. It is what it is. Okay, there's a Great Furnace. Burning Tree Emissary. Okay. Scary. Oh boy. Okay. Please no Raleigh. Okay, Relic is fine. Lightning Bolt Face. Sure, that's fine as well. Okay. So there was no Raleigh, but there might be something pretty bad coming next turn. I don't want to grudge this, so I guess I'll just take the 1. Now let's grudge the Relic. Untap. Can I draw a 2-drop? No 2-drop. So I could like grudge the Furnace and not play anything, or play the Stinkweed Imp, which unfortunately I think is what I'm gonna have to do. If my opponent doesn't have a 3rd mana... Okay, they did have a 3rd mana anyway, so there was no way I was going to escape. Do you also have... Okay, alright, so opponent had everything, or they drew everything, one or the other. Any order. I got 2 creatures in the graveyard. There's a Knot to the Bone. Knot to the Bone, unfortunately, not gonna be great here. Do I just need? Because unfortunately, I can't play this unless I tap my plant. I can't play either of my cards, honestly. So I grudge the Percussionist. I block here. I take 3. That brings me down to 2. That's not great. If I play the Imp, I block here. Grudge the Percussionist. I still go down. Block. Grudge. I still go down to 1 life. So I guess my hope here is that I dodge 2 draw steps. Okay. What if I just gain life? Gain life, grudge the Percussionist. I think that might be my best bet. Maybe not even... Yeah, I think I might just gain life, not even grudge. Gain 4, block. Yeah, let's just This is real tough. I'm just gonna play this past the turn. And I know what I normally say, that there's no need for you to get cute. Here, I don't think there is any reason for me not to get cute. Okay, so good news, it was not a bushwhacker. Block. Before damage, I'm just gonna gain my 4. Okay. Jesus, I really needed to draw some self-mill there. This is tough. Because now I'm in the same situation that I was last turn, except I no longer have a blocker. So yeah, I think unfortunately, this is as good as it gets. Play this, play this. Grudge the furnace. And I'll just do that right away. It doesn't make a difference. If my opponent had a lightning bolt, they would have pointed it at my creature. No, if they had a lightning bolt, they would have killed me last turn, right? I know. Never mind. They would have not. Yeah. So, Grudge the percussionist. See what they find. I need them to miss. Okay, Raleigh is not a miss, but it's not a kill. Down to 2. They had it all along. That's very unfortunate. I think we got, yeah, God, I think we got real unlucky. So 1 card deeper, we draw this. We mill 2 extra creatures. I can still do the thing and gain 8 life. That puts me at 13, and then I think we are good to go. Yeah, we got, I think my original hand was a little iffy, but at the same time, on game 3, I mean, on the same time, I think we got really unlucky and our opponent had that insane turn where they had everything. They had like lightning bolt on your thing, plus the bushwhacker, plus the, I don't even remember what it was. And they had a really good start with the burning trees. I don't know. I think I might have gotten greedy with my hand, but also just got really unlucky with the mills. So yeah, unfortunately, these things happen sometimes. Let's go to round number 2. All right, welcome to round number 2. We are now on the play against Shoryu. I think this is fine. I got collars. I have a couple mill creatures. I'm good playing my tap land on turn 1. I don't have anything else that I really want to do. Main deck, Nile Spellbomb. Let's go. Okay, so Circle of the Land Druid gets to come down early. We are likely playing against Affinity. Ooh, that's a really good start. Gatekeeper plus Acorn Harvest is really good. Ichor Wellspring, sure. Okay. So, am I interested in just going for the Gatekeeper now? I could do something like Gatekeeper plus Rumble. My opponent does not have black mana. So if I play this Rumble, I don't have anything else to do afterwards. The Gatekeeper plus Rumble is like 4 points of damage. I don't have anything to force my opponent to pop that thing. Let's just Rumble here. Try to make that a little bit juicier for my opponent. Yeah, I'll take a Town Greeter, any order. And I will play an encampment here so I can immediately Acorn Harvest and get some bodies in play and swing. So Krarkland Shaman is a thing that I don't really want to see. Untapped black mana is a thing I don't really want to see. Okay, tapped black mana might not be so bad. Okay, there's also no Krark coming. Do I want to dredge the imp? Honestly, I don't think so. I think I'll just take a regular draw. That's fine. I think that's okay with me now. Let's unearth. Let's play County Garden. Deal my opponent a point of damage. Swing out. Opponent gonna take 5 more. And now let's play Wayfinder. Deal another point of damage. I would really like to find a Dread Return here. No Dread Return. Okay. So that is 2 Lotlet Giants, and the third one is in my hand. My opponent either chose to not play a Krark or they don't have it. And the Vault of Whispers is a little annoying there. Refurb. Sure. Okay. Don't need any more of those. Mere Enforcer is annoying. Munitions. Okay. Munitions, but you only have 1 mana up. Another refurb. Interesting. Guess I'm getting rid of the Generosant? I don't think I'm dredging. Okay, Wayfinder is decent as well. So let's see what we can accomplish here. Play the Wayfinder. Find nothing. Ooh, and that's 3 Lotlet Giants? Don't love that. Especially not against the Spell Bomb that is already in play, huh? That's tough, not gonna lie. So I guess I'm playing the Coney Garden, and I'm gonna have to force the issue of the spell bomb. So let's get rid of these two, and what? Let's do like the land druid. So this is not lethal. Okay, they do pop the spell bomb, makes sense. Okay, we lose our whole graveyard. Things are not great. Any order, let's grab that Haunted Mire. There is another Dread Return, there is a Scrapwork Mutt. So things are not horrible, but they are not great. Okay, I don't care too much about Black Mage's Rod. Yeah, opponent needs to start being aggressive here, I agree. Okay, so let's start spinning some of these wheels. Mutt? Honestly, I guess I might just discard this. That's funny. So I can cast that if I want. Should have really discarded the Lotlite Giant, huh? Would have been pretty good. Okay, so if I swing out, I'm getting 4 points of damage through, but I'm losing 2 creatures. Then I could try to do something like Generous Scent. Nah, I might just want to like hard cast this Dread Return, right? That's not true also. Okay, let's try to go for a fancier line then. Tap Squirrel, tap Squirrel. No, tap Wayfinder, tap Wayfinder again. Dread Return on the Generous Scent. Do I want to get rid of this? Yes. Let's leave as many bodies in play as I can. So, Generous Scent comes back. I get myself a little food token. Now, let's Dread Return the Wayfinder. Okay. I'll take another Survivor's Encampment. Okay, so that was not great, but at least I got an Acorn Harvest in the graveyard now. And I have a 5/7 to block my opponent's aggression. I do need to be a little concerned about just getting burnt out. Oh, they are pinging face. Oof, down to 7? Oh, I guess I am just dead here. Yeah, alright. Yeah, if they just swing out, I'm dead. Because they can sacrifice their whole board now. Tough. Yeah, so I guess I did die to ping plus Galvanic. Yeah, they got it. Wow. Alright. So that was not great. Let's bring our grudges. Don't really know if I'm super interested in anything else. I got a pair of momentary blinks. I think those are okay. Acorn Harvest is pretty good against Krark. I know my opponent's gonna have a bunch of graveyard hate. That's what the grudges are for. I guess I'm gonna shave like a couple of land druids. Stinkweed Imp is fine. I really don't want to touch these. I guess I can cut like a pair of Generous Ents. They are useful, but I'm not like the most concerned about hitting my land drops. This is a game that can go a bit longer. I am going to keep this hand because I have the grudge and whatnot, and I am just actually going to open up here. So Wooded Ridgeline on 1 is pretty good. Untapped land off the top. Never lucky. So let's just play the County Garden and pass. I am going to be able to double grudge on turn 3. So depending on what my opponent plays, yeah. Refurb. Sure, I'll discard this Acorn Harvest. Nile Spellbomb. Okay. So let's cycle here. I don't have a black mana yet, but I think I'm okay with that. I think I am just going to go for the aggressive play. Grudge your land, pass the turn. So now my opponent has no mana sources. They do have a refurbished, but they don't have any mana. Okay. I'm glad they played that now, not last turn. That's not great, but it'll have to do. I'll just play the Molten Gatekeeper. I imagine... Oh, I was gonna say that they were likely to pop the blood token. Don't love that. Okay, they're still swinging. All right. Land? No land. But again, it is pretty decent. Let's swing. I think I'm still just playing the second Gatekeeper here. All right. They do have more mana. Sure thing, bud. Enforcer number 1. Okay. Oh, you're letting me untap? That's cool. I have a lot of different ways that I can go about this turn. I think I'm just gonna go Mutt, ping for 2, discard the Grudge, take a draw, Grudge the Enforcer. Okay, they didn't sacrifice anything, that's good. Swing for 4, swinging for 2, yep. Krark, yeah, Krark is a tough one here. So, how do I want to go about this? They're gonna have to sacrifice 3 artifacts. I could deal them quite a bit of damage. I guess I'm just swinging. Because whatever I play is gonna get swept up by Krark. Ah, that's not true. I should have played the Stinkweed Imp first. Okay. Yeah, I could have played the Stinkweed Imp first. I don't know if it would have made a huge difference. Okay. Are you popping the... You're not popping the Spell Bomb yet? Okay. So, Rumble. Cool. I'll take the other land that I've been missing for a while. Any order. Play the land. Play the Acorn Harvest from the graveyard. Get myself a pair of 1/1s. My opponent does have the Blood Fountain, though. Blood Fountain is very annoying. Oh, they're just passing? How come? That was definitely a choice by my opponent. Okay, do this. I imagine this is the point where you crack the Spell Bomb. My opponent disagrees. Okay, bring the other one. Opponent still not doing anything. Okay, tap a squirrel. Bring back Scrapwork Mutt. Okay, yeah. If you were gonna do this, you really shouldn't have let me get these two back. Okay, sacrifice. Cast a Scrapwork Mutt from hand. Triggers. Dredge 5. Didn't find anything interesting. Swing for 5. Bring my opponent down to 3. Okay, so now they get to pop their Blood Fountain. I imagine they got the Refurb and the Mirror Enforcer back, which, yep. I guess I'll discard the Stinkweed Imp in case my opponent allows me to dredge. 2, 4, 5. Enforcer is costing 2 mana still. Yep, there's the Enforcer. That's okay. Another Enforcer. Please no Krark. Dang. Okay. All right. Oh, opponent should not have let me do that. Yeah. I think opponent misplayed. They really needed to wipe my board before. Because now they don't have priority to do it. Okay. So opponent, I don't think played that super well, but we'll take it. Let's go to the third game. I'm not going to change anything to the sideboard, even though Not to the Bone can be decent in a lot of the matchups. I think I'm not going to go that route. That's tough. Is my opponent on 7? They are on 7. My first hand had no lands, and then the second one is only lands, basically. Okay, I'll keep this one. So Giant gets to go back, and I gotta send another one. Probably just the Stinkweed Imp. Not great, but we'll try to make it work. Okay, that's not a great draw either. All right. I think I'll just go Scrapwork Mutt, getting rid of the Acorn Harvest here. Okay. So I have a ton of self-mill that I can do next turn, but I would rather do the self-mill when I have mana open for something like Ancient Grudge or whatever. Okay, so that was just a Thoughtcast. Cool. I am double spelling this turn for sure, so let's just start here. I already have my 4th land drop. I will just take a Satyr Wayfinder. Any order. And since my opponent is tapped out, let's do this. Okay, that was an absolute miss. I did put a lot of cards in the graveyard. The problem is that only 2 of the 9 were lands. Of the 8, actually. Were creatures, rather. Wait, so... Okay, if my opponent was gonna Thoughtcast, they would have played a Nile Spellbomb? Okay, they did have it. That's a weird choice. Maybe they drew into the Spellbomb? I honestly do not know. Okay. So they're not leaving up mana for the Nile Spellbomb. Tough. They had a Mirror Enforcer. That hurts. Okay. Let's try to get some value. Step number 1 has worked. Acorn Harvest. Step number 2 has worked. Play the County Garden. Ping for another point of damage. And now what? Swinging gets me 3 points of damage, but I lose a creature. I don't even have like a Generous Ant to bring back, which would be pretty good. I literally only have the Circle of the Land Druid. Well, so that's not even that great. I think I am just swinging. Let's get those 3 points of damage in. Yep, makes sense. Take 3, down to 12. Do I want to try to go for the Scrapwork Mutt now? Honestly, yeah. So get rid of you. And sure, I'll dredge. Okay, we got some stuff there. Gatekeeper can go. So I was able to deal some damage. I guess the biggest problem here is if they have a Krark, because, yep, every time. Because Krark plus Spellbomb is a beating. What? Why would you do it like that? That's such a... Why not just wipe the board and then do it? Wow, that was odd. Okay, play the town greeter. Any order. Grab, I guess I'll grab the forest. Play Stinky. Swinging deals maybe no damage. Maybe I should have swung first. I don't know. I think I'm just passing here. Okay, they just sacrificed their Enforcer to gain 7 life. Refurb. Okay, they have another Enforcer. Cool. Okay, there's a Lotlet Giant again. So, priority is currently mine, meaning that I get to do this. Dread Return on the Lotlet Giant. Sacrifice all my dudes. I mean, not all my dudes, but the ones that matter the most. Any order. Do you have a counterspell? Negate. You do not have a counterspell. Okie dokie. So resolve. Take 6. Tap a dude here. Bring back Scrapwork Mutt. Dredge 5. I have another Dread Return, but I do not have another Lotlet Giant. So I guess let's just pass the turn. I should swing with the Scrapwork Mutt. It is free after all. Toxin Analysis. Sure. I mean, there's not much I can do about that. Okay, opponent's gonna gain a bunch of life again. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm gonna respond to this. Like, sure, it's not great, but unfortunately I don't have double collars right now. You know what? I think I'm just gonna deploy another imp here and pass the turn. If my opponent finds another Nile Spellbomb, sure, then I'm in trouble. That's just another land. Yep. Don't love that. I'm not interested right now, unfortunately. County Garden is not what I'm looking for. Let's recycle that one. Still no dredging. Ooh, that's a nice draw. Okay, swing for 2. They are blocking, sure. Trade, trade. So second main, let's grudge the spell bomb. So that resolves. Let's grudge the Blood Fountain before my opponent gets a chance to bring back all their huge dudes. So let's have a quick check to see what we still have left. I have no more Dread Returns. I have 3 Lotlet Giants. Okay. So Circle of the Land Druid is a nice hit. Mill 4. Any order. That's just a bunch of creatures that don't do anything. Swing for 2. Pass the turn. Yeah, winning this game is not going to be easy. Yep. And opponent's going to be drawing a million cards here. If they swing, I am going to block. I won my 7th land drop. Yep. Jeez, my opponent has 9 cards in hand. Oof. Another Blood Fountain. Really sucks. That was a Refurb and a Mirror Enforcer. Yeah. And they still have 7 cards in hand. Alright, I think I'm good calling this one quits. I think I'm not coming back from that one. Unfortunately, we got absolutely crushed by Affinity there. They really, like, the big difference was the game 1 where they had the Spell Bomb on turn 1 very easily. We were able to steal game number 2 from them, but then they just completely ground us out in game number 3. It is what it is. The game does go like that sometimes. Let's try to recuperate in the second half of the league and try to go 3-2. Try to do this deck justice. All right, welcome back to round number 3. We are on the play against Gusta86. This is okay. I have a land, I have a Generous Scent, I have a Wayfinder. The hand is playable. Snow-covered island. Sure. So is this a stylistic choice, or are we playing Scred? Guess we'll find out. Playtown Greeter. Okay. That's an interesting choice. I guess I'm taking the Holdout Settlement. Oh, it seems we are some sort of Scred deck. Is it Fae? Is it Jeskai? I guess we'll find out. Okay. So they didn't have anything for a creature on turn 2, which makes me think that they're not going to have anything for a creature on turn 3. Let's Wayfinder again. Or rather, you know what I mean. Because in the case... Well, it didn't happen here. I guess I'll play this. Because it was possible that Okay. So I guess my opponent just F6 their turn. Not great for them. Let's swing for 2. Oh, they discarded an Azure Fleet Admiral. So they are a blue-red scred. Misclick through my turn. Yeah, I saw. Okay, so now that at least I know what they are, let's go this. And I'm almost tempted to... I guess I should have played the Stinkweed Imp. I don't think that was a great use of my mana there. Well, it is what it is. So I guess I'll mutt. I'm not worried about Graveyard Hate. Any order? Ooh. Oh, okay. My opponent just conceded there. Okay. Oh, they conceded the match? Well, I mean, I'll take it. I am definitely in need of wins, and I do think that that matchup is decent for us, but our opponent could definitely have played games 2 and 3 with things like Breath Weapon and Cast into the Fire and all of that stuff in the side from the sideboard, and it would have made my life way more difficult there. I understand conceding game 1. Conceding the rest, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't have any sort of Graveyard Hate in the sideboard. Who knows? Well, we are now 1 and 2. Let's go to round number 4. All right, welcome to round number 4. We are on the play against Niederschatten. This is going to be a mulligan from me, and this is going to be another mulligan from me. Usually a red player. This is fine. Keep. So the blink can go, and the mutt can go. I'll try to use the generous scent to pick up one of the collars at some point. We are red. Take 1. Land Druid, mill 4. Nice, we found a land. That's what I wanted to see. Ooh, Burning Tree. Burning Tree into Raleigh is pretty annoying. I am gonna trade here with a human. Grab my land drop. Again, I don't have any sort of life gain in game number 1, which is definitely a problem. So, nope. That's not the color that I want. Let's play Stinky. Stinky is pretty good at trading. There's the Bushwhacker. Okay, and Stinky is also pretty good at getting shocked. Ugh, I just took 9 points of damage. That's tough. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have black mana without having to tap this. So if I do, it's like play, block, take 3 down to 3. I don't love that for me, but I guess it's what I got. I am definitely dead to literally anything. That's a very explosive start, and again, I don't have good things to do in game number 1 about this. Okay, I'm dead. Goldfished by turn 4. Okay, so let's get those Knot to the Bones and those Grudges in here. Cut the Harvests, cut a Giant. What did I cut last time? I think it was like this, and then a pair of Blinks. I'll actually keep the Land Druid and I'll get rid of like a Rumble. Let's try this. I would like to play first, yes. Again, I think these hands are so slow. So this is a Garden on 1, tap land on 2. I play a blocker turn 3. I don't think that's good enough. This is not great either. They mulligan to 6 as well. I'll keep it, but this is a hand that is desperately in need of some help from the top. Okay, opponent mulligan to 5. I am likely going to go for my dual land here on turn 1, but if I top deck a 2-drop green creature, I'm gonna be pretty upset. Okay, that's fine. Play the Ridgeline and pass. Or, yeah, sure, Relic is fine as well. I get to take both of those out. And I do think I'm just gonna go for it now. Yeah, I am just gonna go for it. Actually, I don't need to do that now, right? Yeah, I can't wait. Honestly, I don't even need to hit the Percussionist. Yeah, I'll take one. That's fine. Okay, now I'll hit the Percussionist. Play County Garden. Again, I need something to start milling my deck. Okay, they found another land. Don't love Burning Tree. Plus Raleigh, come on. This hurts. It hurts. What you got? Another Burning Tree. Okay. I guess I'm keeping the plant token around because I don't have black mana otherwise. And I guess I'm popping the blood token here so I can grudge for cheap later on if I need to. Deck. Come on, deck. Okay, so my game plan here is opponent doesn't have lethal next turn. I block, and then I start dredging. and we gain a bunch of life, stabilize, and win the game. That's all that I want for Christmas. There's the other burning tree. Lightning bolt face? Yikes. We are not coming face. Yeah. Yeah, my opponent's 100% correct on that one. Jesus. Okay. Play another one. Okay. Oh, they just played it. Why would you just play it? That's scary. Okay. I didn't find a land, but I did find some creatures, which is very good news for me. Pass the turn. Is your last card in hand another bushwhacker? Of course it is. Okay. Okay. So that's a ton. I am going to hope that I'm not dead. So block, 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 block. This is going to be 6 damage. Okay. I am not going to play cute. I'm just going to gnaw to the bone right now. Okay, cool. They conceded. Whoa, that was scary. Holy moly. All right. Do it again on the draw. Jesus. Oh, deck. Mulligan. Okay. Get rid of a grudge. This hand is not bad. It is fine. So there's the percussionist. County Garden. Go. Tomb Raider. I think my plant is worth 2 life this game. Ooh, that's a nice hit. So let's go Mutt. My opponent doesn't have a second land, so let's deploy the Imp, and I will dredge here. Okay. Well, okay, they found their second land. Burning Tree is very scary. Oh no, come on. No, don't do it. Lightning Bolt. Tough. Down to 15. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm dredging because I need to find a land drop like desperately. Yeah, I don't think I'm dredging. Okay. I'm gonna go Rumble. Okay. Play the County Garden. Pass the turn. Okay. No Bushwhacker is great news. All right. So let's do some math here. I'm taking 5 down to 10. 5 down to 10. I am gonna gain quite a bit of life. Yes, I think I'm good with this. Ooh, don't love that one. Yep, that hurts. That one really hurts. Okay, so now I need to try to hit an untapped land here to stabilize, which we do. Cool. I could gnaw to the bone, but I think it is more important to just mill more. Okay, we found another gnaw to the bone. Cool. I have an extra blocker too if I really need to, but I would like to keep my spawn around. Synthesizer. Yep. Reckless Impulse. Okay. Nice. Nice, nice. Okay. I don't want to die to Fire Blast. So am I just trying to gain some life here? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Make a blocker. Grudge. Oh, they just conceded? Woo! All right. I don't know if that game was over. Like, not by a long shot. I was considering, like, double blocking here, taking 6. I'm dead to Fire Blast, but if they don't have it, I get to untap, and I'm much more stable than I was before. Yeah, all right. We are 2-2. Let's try to redeem ourselves and go to the last round. All right. Welcome to the final round. We are here on the play against Roger Estrada. I will keep this. Play Forest past turn. Being able to go for Generous Scent here is decent. Okay, seems like we are against Scrad again. I am gonna go for regular Forest first. And I'm not super sure what flavor of Scrad they are. So the difficulty that I'm having here is if my opponent is playing something like Fae or Terror, yikes, no land. If they are playing something like Fae or Terror, they can have Spell Pierce, and in that case, I would have liked to solve Rumble first, and it would have been better to solve Rumble first, as we saw. But otherwise, having a Town Greeter early to chip in for damage is definitely a thing that can matter. So let's try to do that. Okay. And since my opponent has mana up, I'm not going to offer anything to be countered. I'm just going to use this turn to set up my mana. And being able to get both red and black mana here is definitely important. I am definitely interested in this, especially in what seems to be a longer game. Okay, so nothing to clear that Brainstorm. Okay, now there is a Lorien. On the upkeep? Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it at your end step? Or my end step, rather. Okay, that was a choice. All right, go for the Haunted Mire here. Untap and immediately go to damage. swing for 1. And I am just going to take the chance to cast this. If it gets countered, it's fine. I imagine you let this resolve and then you bolt it or scred it or whatever. Yep, makes sense. But again, I'm not super concerned about that. I don't expect my opponent to have Relic of Progenitus main deck or anything like that. So if all that's doing is trading with a card in their hand and then later on coming back, I am good with that. So that was a ponder, no shuffle. Let's go immediately to attacks. Immediately to attacks? Yeah, let's go immediately to attacks. I am not gonna pull the trigger on my Molten Gatekeepers until I have double red and I can do both of them. Okay, that's a choice. So, Rumble. Sure, I'll take a Mutt. Any order. Play the Mutt. I'll actually get rid of the Town Greeter here and I will dredge. Any order. So, unfortunately, no Dread return just yet. That was just a quick passing of the turn. Nice. That's what I wanted to see. So, I'm honestly not even going to need to pull the trigger on the Lotlet Giants yet. I am just going to be able to do a lot of damage just with the Molten Gatekeepers here. And they're not going to get hit by Breath Weapon, which is a great bonus. Let's Acorn Harvest. See if my opponent's going to take 4. Counterspell. Sure thing. Let's go to combat. I'm good here. And second main, let's try to Rumble. See if they got another counterspell. Yeah, there's the Spell Pierce that I sort of expected was in my opponent's hand for most of the game. Okay, so we got 2 pieces of interaction out of their hand, and I was able to deal some damage to my opponent too. I could have played the Stinkweed Imp instead of the Malevolent Rumble. Maybe that would have been better, because it would have been less likely for my opponent to have an answer to that, and then they could, the Molten Gatekeepers could have dealt like an extra 2 points of damage. I don't really know. All right, there's Stellarian Terror, expected. Opponent still has 4 cards in hand, but only 3 mana up. I am still pretty soft to Breath Weapon here, and I am going to be taking some regular draws. That's good. I don't mind drawing that at all. And here, the fact that I have mana stable, I have, like, my mana stable is a great bonus because I get to just make my plays without the fear of having to tap creatures or whatnot. Okay, that just resolved. I also don't really want to lose the Eldrazi spawn because in the off chance that I find something like a Lotlet Giant off the top, I just want to be able to hard cast it. So Preordain goes top bottom. They immediately play a land. Oh, I guess my client froze. Hang on. All right, we're back. So opponent just played a land. Oh, it's my... Wait. I guess I drew a Dread Return. Yeah, in that case, I should have done something. I should have tried to do something pre-combat. It is what it is. I guess I'll swing for 1. And I am in great shape here. Dread Return was probably the best draw that I could have asked for because unless my opponent has double interaction, they are going to have a really bad time. Tap, Dread Return. No, no. Okay, I messed this up. No response. Don't pay. Try again. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, now I'll pay. Yes. Okay. So my opponent didn't need to do anything there because I misclicked, but they didn't notice either, so all is good. Did they have 3 Spell Pierces, right? Okay, lots of Spell Pierce. So what am I thinking about here? Honestly, I might not even want a sideboard. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna resubmit. I don't know if my opponent has Graveyard Hate. If they have, it is what it is, but I think I'm better off just playing the slow game. They are not going to be like a fast terror deck, so I don't have to be worried about turn 3 terrors followed by like Spell Pierce or anything like that. I have time to set up and do my thing. This is not amazing, but I think that in a game that is going to be about attrition, I'm okay keeping this hand. Turn 1 Mountain. Okay. Ooh, that's good. All right. Drawing the second land makes me much happier here because now I'm going to have a chance to start deploying my dudes on turn 3 And the fact that it's Haunted Mire makes it even better. Not super worried about Campfire. I mean, it's okay. It's gonna do a little bit of a... It's gonna give him a little bit of a buffer. Alright. I'm just gonna do my best to play on curve. So that resolved. What is this? Braid? Ooh, Cast into the Fire is good, because it answers it twice. That's decent for my opponent. It's also just pretty good against my small dudes. Top, bottom, sure. Second Campfire. Alright. So, Psychogenerascent. Play another Molten Gatekeeper. Double Campfire is a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie. This is a good spot for my opponent to draw 5. No, they just play a Terror. Okay. So, let's try to get some damage going. Always yield, always yield. Yeah, I'll take a Counter Garden. That's fine. Any order. I know my opponent has 1,000 Spell Pierces in their deck, so I'm going to try to... Yeah, I'll take another Counter Garden. So I'm going to try to do my best to not play into them. Having the Molten Gatekeeper is pretty good. I should have gotten an... Yeah, I should have gotten Holdout Settlement. I guess I messed up that one. Another Terror. Okay. You swinging? You are swinging. Cool. Yeah, sure. Nice. I could try to deal some damage to my opponent here. Let's just start off with the Circle of the Land Druid. Do this. Ping for 1. Yes, let's mill 4. That's a lot of creatures. That's good. Good. Let's go for the Stinkweed Imp. Put it in play. Ping for 1. Sure, you can gain 2. Play the Garden, ping for 1, pass the turn, and I believe I have lethal next turn, as long as my opponent doesn't have a breath weapon here. It is very likely for me to have lethal some sort of way next turn. Okay, that's a land to clear the Brainstorm. Sure. You're coming in. Okay. So I think this is just a plant block. Is that it? That seems odd to me. Okay. Oh, I don't need red mana, right? Let's just mutt. So one of the mutts needs to... Yeah, okay. You can gain your life, bud. So one of the mutts here is going to discard Dread Return. Dredge. Any order is fine. Ping for 1. Now, Dread Return goes on Lotled Giant, and I need the Circle of the Land Druid to die. Wait, what? Okay, so any order. The Circle of the Land gets me the Holdout Settlement. Counter spell. Okay, so Holdout Settlement. Holdout Settlement. Okay. And my opponent is going to die anyway. Tap. Dread Return on Lotled Giant. Take 1,000,000. Dread Return on Lotled Giant. Take 1,000,000. And that's that. All right, so we did recover. We started off 0-2 into a 3-2 finish. Let's go to our final thoughts. All right, now, the burning question. Is the deck good? Yeah, yes, it is good. I don't think I can complain about the list in the slightest. We lost to 2 matchups that I don't think are necessarily bad. I do think the Raleigh Red matchup is good for us. I believe we lost that one, probably because I misplayed at some point, and I think we got a little unlucky with the dredges in... Not the dredges, the self-mill in game number 3. I believe if the situation was different, it was very possible for us to turn that game around and stabilize. And the Affinity matchup, you saw how it is. I don't think it's unplayable. I do think that there are many situations where it's perfectly fine to play the Affinity matchup. The problem, however, is that once your opponent starts off early on with Graveyard Hate and gets to do something like a Krark Graveyard Hate multiple times in a matchup like it happened to us, I think the game gets much trickier. And then we just had a really good performance against the rest. We beat Raleigh Red again. We beat Blue Red Scred twice, even though I don't think our first opponent needed to concede that early. But you saw how the game goes in the final round there. I think the matchup is favorable for us, But if our opponent doesn't have something like a breath weapon or whatever to stabilize, they can just get overrun by the little things that we can do, and then they run out of card advantage very quick. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the deck. I think it was really good. I think it's really fun to play. I believe Molten Gatekeeper is my current favorite card in Pauper. I have just been putting it in all sorts of decks. My 4-color dredge that I played my recent tournament with had Molten Gatekeeper, green-red Tremors, green-red tokens. This, like, if I can, I'm gonna start putting this dude into every deck that I can fit him in. And hopefully we're gonna have a good time doing so. There is another card coming in the Lorwyn set that I'm pretty excited about, which is like a draw 3 that has Convoke. I'm pretty interested in trying that out with something like Molten Gatekeeper, Impact Tremors, and some like token creation spells, maybe some kobolds, the 0 mana ones, and that sort of thing. But yeah, that's where I'm at currently. So, did Marza deserve to do so well with this deck? Yes, Marza is a great player. He is absolutely slaying these challenges and tournaments with Dredge. I do think that this is probably the strongest list that I've played in a while, at least from a traditional standpoint of like, we are doing the Dread Return Lotlet Giant thing, we're playing base green and etc. So I'm very pleased with the result here. I think the mana base is okay. I'm not sure if this is the ideal like 16 land configuration, but this works. It works and it gives you the mana when you want it. So that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had some fun with our comeback story. And I hope you had some fun watching me just absolutely destroy people with golems and squirrels together. And yeah, that's it. Hope you have a great day. Hope you stay excellent out there. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.